Hello, and welcome to the Superpowered Love book reading tour thing. I don't know, it's a thing. At every stop, I'm going to be reading from a different book, even though this is all in honor of Book 8, The Takedown, which just came out on the 6th from Loose Id. So you can get that anywhere. Information is in this post somewhere, I don't know, up or down somewhere beside me, something like that. So be sure to check it out. But since it would be weird to read for everything from The Takedown and end up reading an awful lot of the book, I decided to do a different one every time. And they're going to be out of order because you can read them out of order. Doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm doing Riot Boy today because I'm a Joyfully J, so I have to do Riot Boy. Because that's more fun. So I'm just going to start with a blurb, and then I'll read a little meetup between the heroes. So here's the blurb. Etienne never thought getting his pocket picked could lead to a first date. He knows the second he catches punk boy Brady's eye that the guy is pure trouble, but I can't resist his wicked sense of humor, pretty face, cold hands, and the piss-off swagger when Brady's on stage with his band doesn't hurt either. From Rimbaud to Buzzcocks to Malbec to handcuffs, they introduce each other to their favorite pleasures, and the chemistry is unstoppable. But Brady disappears in the night, won't give Etienne a phone number, doesn't talk about his past. Etienne's never known someone so hungry for affection, but with so many trust issues. Ed would give all he has, but he has the feeling Brady needs saving from something before he can take it. Then the something shows up. Brady's dangerous family, all of them more than human, including Brady, who has the ability to super cool matter with the slightest touch. Throw in the family talent for criminal activity, and it's an explosion waiting to happen. Ed wants to help Brady escape his past, but if Brady keeps disappearing, he may not get the chance. It makes me go dun dun dun. So, Ed and Brady first meet at a club, which is the first scene in the book, and this is kind of like the next morning when Ed's kind of hungover, and he goes to buy coffee, and he finds that he's missing something from his wallet. So he's hanging out at the coffee shop, and this is him kind of trying to figure it out. My MasterCard was just gone. I racked my brain as I put everything away again, trying to recall when I'd last seen it. I hadn't even gotten it out of the club, or had I? That had been a lot of gin, as my head was reminding me, but I was pretty sure I hadn't bought any of it myself. Etienne Fletcher. I looked up. My mouth fell open. It was Riot Boy. And unlike most people the morning after, he looked even better now than he had in the shadowy, drunken haze of the club. Lean and long-limbed, mad dark hair, bright eyes outlined in black. Today he wore a tight, faded Town Called Malice t-shirt with the sleeves ripped off, showing his tattoos, not to mention his arms. I couldn't believe I'd actually made out with him, brief though it had been. I tried to fight it, but I flushed like a teenager. He swung into the chair across the table. The smell of cigarettes and hair product followed. What kind of name is that? Etienne, or? He leaned one elbow on the table, the one with the sleeve on the upper half of the arm. It was just twisting designs, all black, dizzying spirals, but more nouveau than tribal. Etienne. Well, you're pronouncing it like you know. I smiled. And then I wondered why the hell I was smiling, and how the hell this had happened. As in, why would we run into each other this morning, of all mornings, when I was pretty sure I had never seen him before? I would have remembered him. Or I would have remembered his ass in those pants, anyhow. Hang on, what were we talking about? But, he reached into his back pocket and pulled out a little black card, which he put on the table between us. Ain't you drop this? My MasterCard. Sure, I could have just dropped it somewhere, and in the writhing crush of the late-night zombie horde, he might have just happened to be the one to pick it up. And someone who knew me might have just happened to tell him who I was and how to find me. But all I could think of was his hand in my back pocket while we were dancing. The pocket where I kept my wallet. He leaned back, crossing his arms over his chest and tossing his head as if to get his hair out of his eyes. Absurd, seeing as his hair probably wouldn't have moved in a hurricane. No, don't thank me. Really. Thanks, I said automatically. That same grin. Now I remember the taste of his tongue, the feeling of his heavy belt buckle clinking against the button of my fly. I shifted in my seat. How? Found it. How did you know it was mine? Because you left it right where you're sitting? I asked the bartender if it belonged to the Abercrombie and Fitch Burnett. He knew exactly who I meant. I stuttered, first trying to find a reason to believe him. Then, once I realized I was only doing so because I was flattered, trying to find a reason not to believe him. Even if I had, in my near stupor, gotten out my card while talking to Suzanne, what kind of bartender wouldn't have just assumed I'd come back for it? Why would he let some random punk ass walk out with it? But if said random punk ass really had stolen it, why the hell would he bring it back to me? In person. Finally I said, "Oh, right. I mean, thanks." He smirked yet again. His lips were pale pink in the sunlight through the picture window, bowed with that sensitive plumpness that had made kissing him so damn delicious. His eyes crinkled at the corners, just the faintest hint of lines to come. Who'd you leave with last night? I was surprised into telling the absolute truth. No one. What's your name again? I never told you. What? I know it's kind of tried, but you can't ask for my name again when I never told you what it was in the first place. My mouth fell open, but not because I had anything to say. He held out one hand, grinning again. Brady Sinclair. I took it. It was long-fingered and strong and cold. I remembered that from last night, too. What kind of name is that? I always thought it was kind of hot, myself. Caught off guard, I laughed. This guy was either completely insane or completely fascinating. Not that the two were mutually exclusive, just that one was always dangerous, and the other was only mostly dangerous. Bearing that in mind, I declined to rise to the bait. I slipped my card into my wallet and asked, "You here for coffee, or to bother you while you try to read your paper?" Some from column A, some from column B. So who'd you leave with, really? Does my sister count? His eyes narrowed. Beyond weird. The guy had probably picked my pocket, and here I was asking, why? Who'd you leave with? No one. Guy I wanted to leave with left early. Walked right out the door with a couple of rug munchers and left me high and dry. Motherfucker had a body to die for, too. I didn't bother wondering why he'd asked me with whom I'd left if he'd seen me walk out with Suze and Lucy. Just like that, I knew exactly why I was still having this idiotic conversation. It was the most sustained attention I'd had from a man since that last god-awful night with Paul. The night when we'd had the most incredible sex ever, right before he told me he'd been cheating on me. Brady asked, "You got a job?" "Yeah, manager at Henderson's." I nodded out the window. "Books, that's cool." What you got there?" He pointed at my coffee. "Americano? You want some?" "Thanks." He took it, sipped, and smiled. "Black, huh? I think I like you, Etienne." I'm flattered? But I had reached my threshold. It had been a bizarre 24 hours, and I couldn't handle much more before my head finally exploded. I should probably get back to the store, though. Okay. He leaned back again, eyeing me over my own coffee. "But I'm only going to track you down once, Etienne Fletcher. Twice would just be creepy and desperate." I thought, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't. But I said, "You want my number?" Yep, I did it. Thought you'd never ask. Still holding my coffee, he approached a middle-aged woman pecking away at a laptop nearby. "Excuse me, can I borrow your pen?" She obliged, and he swaggered back to me with a heavy clomp of his docks. He held out the inside of his right forearm and put the pen in my hand. "I got some blank space right here. Go for it." I stood, tucked my wallet into my pocket, and wrote my number, my actual number, down his radial artery, thinking the whole time that this guy was trouble. Trouble like I'd never seen before. Then again, that was probably why I did it. Well, that and the obvious. The smell beneath the cigarette smoke reminded me of last night, of that clean hair product smell. And he had some really fine arms. Kind of like those long legs. Wouldn't mind having those wrapped around my... Focus, Etienne. "You got a job, Brady?" "Yeah, I got a job." I finished writing and looked up. "I'm in a band." He raised black eyebrows and stuck out his sharp chin, as if daring me to argue that this was not, in fact, a job. But it was the only one I could imagine him having, really. "You the singer?" "Bass." Waste of an attitude, but I said, nice. I handed the pen back, this time paying better attention to his hands. I couldn't see the fingertips of the left. He still held my coffee in it. But it was a likely story, judging by their size and shape. Explained the arms, too. He tucked the pen into his back pocket. You gonna give that back? Right, have it. He fixed me with a predatory grin that made my blood rush everywhere but my brain. Check you later, Etienne. He turned around, laid the pen on the older lady's table with a polite, thanks, ma'am, and sauntered out, sipping contentedly at my cafe Americano. I belatedly remembered to look at his left triceps, now that he was conveniently sleeveless. It said, in stencil-style lettering, you really got me. That and the 5 seconds I got to watch that tight little ass before he got to the door were definitely worth the $3 I'd spent on the coffee. Maybe even worth the hangover. So that's it, and for Riot Boy anyway. Keep following along for the rest of the tour, and I'm gonna be giving away these really cool Superpowered Love prize boxes. They have cool stuff in them. They have a journal. They have Willoughby Spit, which is Brady's band. They have Willoughby Spit t-shirts, which look like this, except they're not going to be green, and I won't cut them up unless you want me to, I guess. And those are going to be sized for you, you know, whatever. Yeah, so it should be really fun. You can enter here. You can enter at all the stops, so follow the blog tour, and get a little taste of the different books. And remember to check out The Takedown, brand new from Lucid. Thanks.